welcome back to Champion the Passion, a weekly pro wrestling podcast where we inspire you to champion your passions and celebrate the joy in what you love. I'm your host. My name is Victoria Daisy, and today we're going to be recapping everything that happened yesterday on Raw because there was so much that went down that we have to discuss. But before we dive deeper, don't forget to leave a 5-star review if you enjoyed. Follow me at It's Victoria Daisy across all social platforms and follow Champion the Passion across the streaming platforms. But let's dive right in because the opening segment was none other than John Cena, okay? Last week we started off with John Cena, and I did not think we were going to start off with John Cena once again the following week, but here we are. So let's dive deep. So immediately when he came out, the crowd was quick to immediately start singing John Cena sucks with his theme song, and it was phenomenal. Okay. Now, I've been saying this for like 2 weeks straight now, and to be completely honest with you guys, I can't take him seriously as a heel. I just can't. Maybe it's because all I've ever known is a babyface John Cena, and seeing him with his serious face on or trying to bully the crowd, like, it makes me laugh. Like, I know that's not what they want, but I just can't take it seriously. Like, part of me still loves him, part of me hates him. I don't know how to feel, and I just can't take him seriously half the time, to be honest. But he got on the mic to basically talk about how he has flipped the script onto us, and now he can pick apart each and every one of us. I'm sure that makes his heart very happy. He then said, quote, "Last week I put a clueless kid on blast." I was gagged when he said that. I was like, there's no way we are still talking about this poor child. First of all, every time I keep seeing that picture or that clip, like roaming the internet, my heart breaks because that poor child, and you could tell that he literally just bought that merch. It still had the little sticker on his shirt, and it was the Brussels shirt, and I wanted to cry, and I felt so bad. And it was just so much. So I know he's always dreamed of being a heel, but I fear that his excitement might be getting to him a little too much sometimes, because I've been saying this for a couple weeks, actually like two or 3 weeks now, that he keeps smirking in between sentences, and it's not all the time, but it is sometimes. And it's not like the traditional evil heel smirk, if that makes sense. It's like a genuine, oh, I can't believe I'm finally a heel and all these people are responding so well. Like, it's giving that. And I'm like, Cena, buddy, we can't be doing that right now. Like, it's breaking the kayfabe for me, and I hate that because I'm so sucked into this world when I'm watching my TV, but then when things are happening slightly out of line like that, I'm just like, buddy, what are we doing? And don't get me wrong, okay? I think the content of what he's saying is phenomenal, okay? But it's just the little moments like that that really rock the boat for me, and then I'm like, whoa, what are we doing, buddy? Like, it's not giving. Then he tried once again to turn everything back towards us, saying that it's our fault. And this is a direct quote from him. He said that it's our fault that a, quote, poor defenseless child was everywhere while he was, quote, getting destroyed. Okay, so you want me to be the villain? Like, that's fine. I'll be the villain. Like, I don't care. Then he called us horrible people, which, it was fire. We love to be called horrible people. But to be fair, even though I'm crapping slightly on it, he was cutting a very timeless heel promo, okay? I did enjoy what he was saying. I thought what he was saying was really good, and it really was like heel 101, heel masterclass, if you will. And for somebody who's never done it before, I mean, he's been in the business for over 20 years, but like, for somebody who's never actually done it in front of a crowd, he ate down. Like, go off, king, you slayed. Like, this is his 3rd time being heel on TV, and he cooked. And I love that for him. Like, it's great stuff, truly. Then he said he is going to, quote, ruin wrestling for every fan, every wrestler, and everyone. I don't think you're going to be successful with that one, buddy. Then he continued on to say, quote, at WrestleMania 41, I make history by winning my 17th championship. And I finally force you to forget the name of the fun machine, jet flying, woo, Ric Flair. You will forever say the name John Cena. I'm sorry. What a gag. Hello? When he said that about Ric Flair, I was like, there's no way we are name dropping in 2025. Like, there's no way you just did that. But when the delivery of how he said, but you will remember the name of John Cena was so, so good. I loved that so much. Then he said that he will win the championship and retire with it. He said he's taking it home with him and letting us create a new toy belt, such as the spinner belt that he came up with in 2005, because the real one is going to stay with him at home. He said he will be the last real champion in WWE. Guys, this is an uber heel promo and I am loving it, okay? You guys know, if you've been watching or listening to my podcast for literally any amount of time, that heels are for me. I love heels so much. I prefer heels over baby faces. I gravitate towards them always, literally ever since I was a kid. I mean, for reference, growing up, my all-time, and even now, my all-time favorite wrestler is Mercedes Moné, aka Sasha Banks, whatever you want to call her. And she has always predominantly been a heel, and that's why I love her. I feel like there's a lot of personality traits that I kind of have taken on from her subconsciously throughout the years. And there's just a lot of times when I get sassy, I feel like I'm her. Not that I'm trying to be her, but I just feel like there's just certain things I've taken on from her over the years because I've watched her entire career from the start. And so all that to say, I love heels, okay? So I am living for this John Cena heel run. I just can't fully take it seriously just yet. But then, our American hero, he ain't no nightmare. He's a hero, thank you very much. Our king, our WWE Undisputed Champion, Cody Rhodes, interrupts. He came out and he was ready to serve. He was ready to clock. And Cody got on the mic and literally clocked John immediately by saying, quote, you said you were going to take this away from them, but don't you think you have to take it away from me first? Jaw drop. I'm sorry, Cody. Did not know your game. No, I'm kidding. But he clocked. Then he said that John has made a massive mistake, saying what he just said in front of not only the crowd, but while Cody was in the building. And when he said that so intensely, I got goosebumps. I had a little rock moment where I was like slapping my forearm, like, oh my, wait, is this your forearm? No. If you're watching, is this your forearm or is it? Whatever. Slapping his arm. Can you guys tell that I didn't pay attention in science class? I don't even know when we learned about the human body. Whatever. That has nothing to do with this. But yeah, when he said that, I literally had goosebumps. I was screaming, quite literally. Then Cody said, if you really want to take the title, then take it. So he laid it on the ground, literally waiting for Cena to take it. I mean, he took off his jacket, unbuttoned his shirt. I mean, he was ready to go. And then John Cena did the most heel thing ever and acted like he was going to go down and take it. But then he walked right out of the ring and walked up the ramp and was like ready to say goodbye, being so dramatic with his little face on. And as Cena was walking up the ramp, Cody yelled at him from the ring and said, quote, your psychotic need to take this does not outweigh our right to keep it. Holy crap. And then he finished with this quote. The champ is no longer standing there. The champ is standing in the center of this ring. Seeing you walk away empty-handed is exactly how you'll be walking away at WrestleMania. And that is how you'll walk away from the WWE. Oh my God. Talk about clocking someone. Cody Rhodes, you have entered a new era of clockifying. That's a new word I just made up right now, but clockifying, okay? That was a very intense opening segment. It was great. I really, really did love it. But let's actually head on into the first match of the night. And we had Jey Uso and his mystery partner versus A-Town Down Under. Now, here's the thing. We all selfishly wanted Joe Hendry because they were in Scotland, his home country. But when you really think about it, Joe Hendry would have done nothing for Jey Uso and his storyline. And there was one person who would have completely done that. And that was the person who showed up, which was his twin brother, Jimmy Uso, guys. The Usos were back for a night for the first time in about a year and a half. My entire childhood was brought back to life for about 30 minutes and it was fabulous. But when Jimmy came out, the gag I experienced was out of this world. So to the match, it was an absolutely fantastic match, okay? I mean, like I said, getting to see the Usos reunite was so special because they were just such a big part of my childhood. I was born in the 2000s, therefore I grew up in the 2010s. Well, obviously you're always growing up, but you know what I mean. And like I got to grow up with the Usos is what I'm trying to say. And so getting to see them come back together after so long, I mean, there's just nothing like it. And I'm sure for anybody who's watching this, no matter how old you are, I'm sure you've had a moment in your wrestling fandom where you get to see somebody or a faction or tag team reunite or come back that hasn't been there for years. And it's like the most nostalgic thing ever. And so that's kind of what I experienced. And obviously the Usos, this isn't just an opinion, this is a fact that they are one of the greatest tag teams to ever live, truly. So because of that, this match was so impeccable. I mean, both of their movesets are actually out of this world. And I felt that they worked really well with A-Town Down Under, who also brought a lot to this match as well. But in the end, the Usos took that W. I was so excited. And then the party ended very quickly because Gunther came out to attack Jey, but Big Jim, brother Jimmy, came to the quick assist, and you know what? Took that worry that away, the stress. He took care of it for Jey, as the brother he should be, and he ate down. All right, next we have a women's intercontinental championship match. Lyra Valkyria defending against Raquel Rodriguez. Now, this was also a pretty good match. I do have to say, Lyra always brings so many fun moves to the table, and I feel like Raquel countered them all very nicely and also brought a lot of her own flavor and style to the ring, which I thought was awesome. Now, with Liv Morgan being ringside, of course, shenanigans occurred, but it wasn't enough because in the end, Lyra Valkyria did successfully defend her title and retain it. Then Liv and Raquel started attacking Lyra, but Bailey, her role model, came out for the quick save, and that was pretty much that. All right, now we're heading backstage for an Usos backstage segment. This was a very sweet heart-to-heart, brother-to-brother moment on the stairs. I mean, it wasn't like all so sweet, but the intentions were there. So Jimmy was telling Jey that for the last couple of weeks, he could see that Jey's been all in his head. He's been everywhere in a disarray, and he talked about how, you know, his botch last week was unacceptable. He said that he's been hitting that move for over 15 years and now he's a joke, a meme. He told him that if you keep doing this, you are not going to win at WrestleMania. Then Jey quickly responded with saying, quote, "I know. Everybody reminds me every week. I haven't beat Gunther. I'm 0-3 versus Gunther." Then he says he doesn't know if he can beat Gunther, and Jimmy was quick to respond saying that he can't. Then Jey got really mad because, of course, that's understandable. I mean, your brother's telling you that you can't, you know, beat who you're facing at WrestleMania for the championship. Like, I totally get that. And he was ready to storm off. But then Jimmy said, quote, "Hold on. You can't beat him. Not this Jey. The Jey I know, the right-hand man, that's the Uso I need." And here I'm like, okay, we're ready to go. Let's go, let's go. Then he continues on to say, "The one that became the main event Jey Uso, that's the Uso I need. The one who won the Royal Rumble, that's the Uso I need." Then Jimmy saw Gunther walking by and he stood on business, okay? He confidently walked over to Gunther and challenged him to a match next week on Raw. And then Gunther kind of laughed in his face and he said, quote, "You? Well, sure, as long as you don't trip and fall like your brother." And this is why you don't play around with the Usos, because then Jimmy slapped the ever-loving crap out of Gunther. I mean, this was the most powerful slap I've seen in a minute. If you guys watch or have seen Power Slap before, I love that show. This was one of those. This was one of those slaps. It wasn't a little slap to the cheek. No. This was a full body, full arm action that he did. And I love that Jimmy talked to Jay and he got his head in the right space, spoke truth to him, and then stood on business with Gunther and put everybody on check. I mean, for a few weeks, this storyline had a major decline. And this is a big storyline. I mean, it's for the World Heavyweight Championship, right? And for a minute, I was thinking to myself, oh my God, I don't think Jay's going to win this title anymore. I mean, they built him up so much. He won the Royal Rumble. So you would think that he's going to win this title. But with the way that everything's been going on with Gunther attacking Jay every single week and with little to no assistance for Jay, I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, Jay's not going to win this title anymore. And we're not going to get Yeet Mania. It's not going to be a happy ending. Gunther's invincible. No one's going to beat him. But, I mean, I think that Jimmy Uso just saved this storyline for Jay. I think he saved the storyline as a whole. Excuse me, if this tag team match, and especially this backstage segment, did not happen, this storyline would have gone to crap and Gunther would have retained at WrestleMania. But now we are going to see Jay with a new attitude, with a new motivation, one that will push him to win at WrestleMania 41 and become the new World Heavyweight Champion. So all thanks to Jimmy Uso for reigniting that flame in Jay. And it's a confidence boost for him, reassuring him that, like, yeah, I can beat Gunther. And I quite literally love that for him. But let's head on back out to the ring for a Women's World Championship segment. So Adam Pearce came out with the contract to reassure the crowd that the match does not include Rhea and that her signing the contract is absolutely irrelevant. But before Adam Pearce could even get to anything, the Women's World Champion herself, Io Sky, interrupted and came out. She said that she doesn't care about contracts and that she wants to take on both of them. Keywords, both of them. But of course, speak of one, say her name as she appears, Nacho Hendry, Bianca Belair. She came out upset that Rhea was wanting to be in the match. And she said, quote, if she didn't earn it, then she don't deserve it. And I absolutely loved that. But of course, say her name and she appears, not Joe Hendry, but Rhea Ripley. I don't know why I always do that. Maria came out and said that she doesn't care who she has to go through to get her title back. Bianca said that Rhea can get her title shot after WrestleMania once she becomes champion. Then Adam Pearce announces that next week, Rhea finally gets her rematch against Io Sky for the Women's World Championship. And then it got announced later in a backstage segment that literally took 5 seconds that Bianca Belair would be the special guest referee. I'm sorry? I talked about this on Instagram and TikTok earlier today. I'm going to reiterate all of that here. So you're telling me that Bianca Belair, somebody who's in the middle of all this drama, is going to be fair and honest and true, and she's going to be a good special guest referee. Yep, that's her. She's not going to favor anybody. She's not going to be unfair, and she's, it's going to be great, and Io's going to retain her championship, and they're going to go into WrestleMania, and Bianca's going to win it, and then Rhea gets another. No, that is not happening. Okay? That is literally not happening. In what world do you think that that's going to happen? It's just not. So here's what's going to happen. There's going to be shenanigans. Shenanigans throughout the entire match. It's not going to be a clean finish. And you know what's going to end up happening? Adam Pearce is going to have to come out and literally honor what the champion said at the beginning of this freaking segment, where she literally said, like I said before, keywords, I want to take on both of them. He's gonna realize that the literal only solution to this is to have a triple threat match for the Women's World Championship at WrestleMania 41. And that's what's going to end up happening next week. Mark my words. I can't wait to see you in a week from now. And that's exactly what's going to happen. But I digress. Let's move on into the next match. So, if you've been keeping up with the Chad Gable stuff, we officially have a name reveal for his supposed doppelganger, or not doppelganger, El Grande Americano, okay? And so El Grande Americano had a match against Dragon Lee, and obviously this was Dragon Lee versus Chad Gable, so of course it was amazing, because you guys know I'm a huge fan of Chad Gable's work. You know, his gimmick isn't all there, it's really just shoosh, and that's about it, and he looks like a mini Kurt Angle, but I really am a fan of his in-ring. And you know what? Both superstars honestly put on a great showcase. It was a great match. Like, truly, that's really what it was. And then, at the end, El Grande Americano ripped off Dragon Lee's mask and then did the ankle lock. So Dragon Lee, well, he tapped out, obviously, because he doesn't want his face to be shown, which is understandable. So El Grande Americano won, and the presentation for him was hysterical. They did a little video package for him saying how he's like what was it? That he's like this Mexican hero or something. Was he a Mexican hero? Or I don't remember the exact origin story of El Grande Americano that they showed in the video package, but that he came from somewhere else and he's like this hero, whatever. And it was great. The music they used, the Titantron screen, everything was just hilarious. And I loved it. But let's dive deep into a CM Punk segment. We know I love me some CM Punk. So he came out to say that he was in a bad mood. Which, don't we all sometimes? He said that he hasn't slept because he's worried about his path to WrestleMania. Then he said that what he wanted to do was win the Royal Rumble, then win the Elimination Chamber, win the Rumble or the Elimination Chamber. But none of those things happened because he works with children. Then he said, quote, "The two men who are trying to stop me from getting what I want need to go." He said that Seth and Roman are taking this too personally. And then he said, quote, "Roman's wise man isn't only his wise man," which of course we know Paul Heyman is going to play a huge part into this triple threat that we are going to have that possibly main events night number 1 of WrestleMania 41. And you know what? My theory, I'm just going to put it out now. I think Paul Heyman's going to turn on Roman Reigns and align with CM Punk. I just think that's what's going to happen. Roman Reigns is going to be left all alone. And I don't know where we go from there, but that's kind of just my theory. And he announced that this Friday night, there will be a contract signing for that match, okay? And then he finished with this, quote, "I want both of you to listen to me before you put that pen to the paper. 1, neither of you have ever defeated me without the other one's help. And 2, I brought you into this business and I cannot wait to be the man who takes both of you out of it." Guys, talk about a freaking clock, okay? This was amazing. All right, and now we have the main event, the Intercontinental Championship match. Braun Breaker defending against Penta. Now, this was a great match, okay? I have to be honest, this was a great match. So much action between the two. I mean, they put on a timeless classic, okay? Now, this was a classic battle between power and speed, truly. Now, something that was interesting is that the Judgment Day came out in support of Penta. It was really just Dom and Carlito in hopes of recruiting him, but then Dom interfered in the end of the match. Then Finn Balor came out with a chair, and then they all started attacking Braun Breaker. Then Dom gave Penta a chair, expecting him to hit Braun Breaker. But then he hit Dom with it, basically telling him, like, go away. I don't want anything a part of Judgment Day. And then Finn got angry because, you know, he's just a whiny crybaby that gets upset about everything and attacked Penta. And honestly, this was just a mess. to be honest, like, it was a great match, but then once the Judgment Day stuff started happening, it just became a hot mess. And that was not how I wanted to go off the air and end Monday Night Raw. And that was that. I mean, I understand we kind of had to have this happen so that the Judgment Day can move on from the whole Penta thing so that we can go closer to Aleister Black, in my hopes. But I really do want Penta to win that championship. And I really hope there's a continuous feud going on between him and Braun Breaker. And maybe we could get a WrestleMania match. I don't know if that's too soon. But I honestly, no, it's not too soon. Because you know what? Penta should ask for a rematch since, you know, he didn't get a clean finish. And so I think why not do it on the grandest stage of them all? But let's head into my overall thoughts. I thought it was a really good show, okay? My match of the night was the Usos versus A-Town Down Under. I personally really enjoyed this match. And again, having the Usos back for one night was just so special. Now, my segment of the night was none other than the Women's World Championship segment. I mean, so much drama and so much needed storyline development to help continue push us further to that WrestleMania match. Overall, I'd rate the show about an 8.5 out of 10, so a pretty high rating for Monday Night Raw. I cannot wait for next week. It's going to be so good. Also, notice for all my US friends, next week is the last week of the international shows, so Monday will be the last time we have to watch at a wacky hour. I mean, I usually just continue watching at night like normal, but next week will be at 3 p.m. Eastern, and that's about what, 12 p.m. Pacific, I believe. So that's the last time until August that we'll have to do this. And Friday Night SmackDown this week and the following week are also international, but they do tape delay for fans in the US. So we're still going to be normal with that. But thank you guys so much for watching and listening to this episode of Champion the Passion. Make sure to leave a 5-star review if you enjoyed. Follow me at It's Victoria Daisy across all social platforms and follow Champion the Passion across all streaming platforms. Don't forget to champion your passions and celebrate the joy in what you love. And I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye.